So I haven't played this in a while, and I'm kind of curious about what has changed. So X dash has that. He's got, oh, whatever the bouncy ball is, I've forgotten. Oh, I'm going to need some help here, aren't I? More projectiles every 20 levels. So kind of same thing. I don't know, let's be Cavallo. I don't remember what that weapon does, and holy smokes, we've got some new things. So we've done Green Acres, and these haven't been discovered yet. So I can't even go to them. In that case, I should probably take a look at this. So, dairy plant. So, gotta go to the inlaid library. Oh. And the air pressure in my room just opened my door. That was creepy as heck. Alright, so we want to go to the library. Cavallo, start inlaid library. Well, that's gonna be a nice and easy one. Did I get the option for hard mode? I don't know if I did, actually. Oh well, doesn't matter that much. So, what is this? I know nothing about what's changed on this. The last time I played this was quite some time ago, and so I'm quite curious about what all has changed. Oh, so we have, okay, sorry. We've got like a cherry bomb that bounces. Let's see, do we want to reroll or do we want to grab any of these? I'm gonna grab the magic wand. It's still kind of functionally useful on a run like this. Because garlic doesn't really fit a projectile build, and the other one really is just not my thing. Let's see, axes or Santa water? Oh, did they redo they redid the sprite work for Santa water? There's also the whip, but I don't care too much for the whip. I know this Santa water has an evolution. Oh, but I don't remember what, like, any of them are. It's been too long. It's messing with me. Hell, I'm not even sure if I was... Yeah, I don't think I was even in this state the last time I played this game, which is throwing me off. So Candelabrador, right. That's what would have paired with the axe. Sure. We see the axe come by again. What pairs with the Santa water again? I don't remember if I ever figured that one out. Yeah, let's just keep leveling up the cherry bomb. Cherry bomb's kind of fun. It's like the bones, but it has like a AoE at the end as opposed to just petering out. Yeah, if you guys know what the combinations are, feel free to let me know once we get to that point. Like, hey, I mean, might as well just tell me now. Does anything pair with the cherry bomb? Or is that, does that not have an evolution yet? Get this. Kind of. Convenient cherry bomb explosion and all. Whoops. Okay, armor. Okay, cherry bomb does not have one yet. Is there anything that pairs with the, what was it, the duplicator ring or whatever it was? That increases your projectile quantity? Oh. Let's see. Also, the game tells you when you have combo potential. Interesting. Well, I'm gonna just keep investing in cherry bombs. Because they seem kind of a fun mix between AoE and not. Okay, lightning plus duplicator. Well, I wouldn't mind the wouldn't mind that combo in this. There we go. I've honestly been putting more of my time into Vampire Survivors clones than actual Vampire Survivors recently. Mostly just because I find the clones kind of interesting. I like seeing where they develop. Vampire Survivors is definitely improving, but it's one of those where, I don't know, I feel like there's a game with more potential than this that exists somewhere out there. Or at least that will come out at some point. Brotato was close. I know somebody was asking me about that. I think probably on YouTube. But I'm definitely going to do more Brotato as that game develops, because I think that has part of it? It's the attract orb. Oh! Oh! It does tell you when there's an evolution now. Oh, thank you. Now I don't actually have to commit anything to memory. I can just go. It's like the best feeling ever. Vampire Survivors is still insane value for its cost. Oh, absolutely. I don't disagree. Like, it's a masterclass in taking a very bare bones idea and making it incredibly compelling and fun, and then packaging it with one of the most, like, consumer-friendly price tags I've ever seen on a video game. Increases, okay, enemy speed, health, and quantity and frequency. It's kind of tempting to go for the Skullomaniac. Let's grab it. We'll have that be the pair with the cherry bomb. I don't mind getting buried in foes, as long as I don't die, but the library is usually a good place to just hang out and fight. The guy made this game for himself to have fun during lunch. Nice. And it's so lightweight that, like, it still feels like there's a lot of ways for it to develop. It seems like it's probably fairly easy to update this thing, as opposed to, like, oh, Minecraft, for example, which, oh, it just feels like Minecraft is stuck. Okay, did we want to do lightning ring? Yeah. Yeah, we want to get the lightning ring in this mix and see if I can get the duplicator as well. So then it got attention on itch.io where you can play it for free. Really? I didn't know this actually it came out on itch.io first. From my perspective, like, I was literally the first content creator to cover Vampire Survivors, and I only ever heard of it when it hit Steam. Oh, this level still had the empty tome, didn't it? Oh well, it's fine. Check out Seraph's Last Stand. I did. Trust me, I check out almost every game. Not every game, but almost all of them. Let's see, then Asmongold started playing it. I don't think it was necessarily Asmongold. I think it was very much a snowball effect. I think the real answer was, like, I covered it, and then, like, Splattercat covered it, and I mean, really, credit to Splattercat for specifically being the one to tweet about it. I just put the video out first. Did you miss that video? Almost assuredly. I should put some more time into it at some point. I didn't find it as compelling as Vampire Survivors. I think a lot of that boils down to I'm not a big fan of side-scrolling as much, maybe, for games like this. It was very restrictive. Okay, let's max out Cherry Bomb. Give me some more options. Ooh. We're starting to hit like trucks here. I try and be relatively quick with most releases. Sometimes I get kind of lazy. Not often, but there's definitely points where I'm just like, boy, I just don't want to think about any new in-progress games ever. Most of the time because they're not, I'm not going to say they're not good, but there are definitely some days where I'm just like, holy shit, every game that I've played or tried out is abjectly terrible. Then every once in a while there are the days where it's just like, wow, all of these games are fantastic. I wish I had more, like, just time to invest into them. It's a vicious cycle. You got into Tower Defense Liberation because of the stream. Yeah. I wish I had been quicker on that one. Full disclosure, I actually sat on that game for months. It wasn't until Rogue Tower that I was like, oh shit, I should go back and check. And then Rito's like, hey, yeah, this game is great. And so we both just started playing a bunch of that. Crown, gain more EXP. Is that worth it at this point? Maybe? I don't know. Because we have the wand, the Santa Water, the lightning, and the axe. That's probably an okay setup. Crown would give me some levels, and mean I could get another random thing. I don't know. I don't know what extra weapon I'd like to mess around with. Is the bone got an evolution, yeah? I forget what the bones evolution was. Let's see, what's a game you wish a sequel would come out for? Ugh. I mean, there's a couple. There's quite a number of games that, like, I feel like the ideas behind them were not fully delivered upon, and that a sequel or successor would actually be really, really satisfying. I would love to see a proper Tower of Gun successor. I know Mother Gunship's there, but I don't actually fully agree that Mother Gunship was like a full Tower of Gun successor. Mainly because it wasn't really a roguelike anymore, and you couldn't refight any of the bosses, and there were only a handful of them, and you didn't really do roguelike runs, so much as kind of like procedurally generated roguelite adjacent runs. And so, I know they're coming out with a VR thing soon, which looks like it might be really fun, or who knows. But unfortunately, I feel like Mother Gunship and Tower of Guns will always be that, like, series that never quite gets to the level of coverage that I wish it got. Yeah, do I want the clover? I don't know. I think I might just leave it up to Bingus, whatever we get as our last thing. What is this green? I do not know. Go with that, so we can potentially level that up. Oh, did they move the Suicide Banshees till later? First time I've noticed them on this round. I remember them being a fairly early thing to pop up. I guess not today. I don't know. What other games? As far as plot and story goes, I really want a sequel. Actually, do we want the Rune Tracer? I like the Rune Tracer, so we'll go with that. Does the Rune Tracer have an evolution? Because I know the Rune Tracer and the Bones are some of my favorites, but I don't know if that one has an evolution yet. Oh well, let's see. But Xenoblade Chronicles X had a really interesting, like, post-credits hook. And I've been so grumpy that there was never a follow-up to it, because I thought it was really cool. But unfortunately, I think it coming out on the Wii U and not selling that well more or less doomed it. I'm kind of sad about that. I'm trying to think of other games that I wish had sequels. I don't know. I try and stay away from games that are unfinished, is part of it. Or feel unfinished. Cliffhangers make me grumpy. Rune Tracer plus armor. Got it. What is this green arrow, and why does it point me forever left? I wish to know what is out here. I wanted more Final Fantasy Tactics games. Yeah. More Final Fantasy Tactics would be nice. I know they're potentially doing a War of the Lions remaster for modern platforms. I think that could be kind of fun. What was the other one? Dragon Quest Builders. I know they probably will never make another one. Maybe? I don't know. The director left the company, and so there's kind of that question of like, well, is the series done for, or will it be coming back? And so I sincerely hope that we get more of that series. Because, like, unironically, Dragon Quest Builders 2 is probably one of my favorite games of all times. I know there's 2. I need a 3. And a 4. And a whatnot. You don't need to tell me that there's a sequel to one of my like to Dragon Quest Builders 1. If I'm talking super glowingly about wanting more, probably found out about the second one. Also, probably one of the cutest bromances I've ever seen in a video game. But yeah, we need that, we need Dragon Quest Builders to go from 1 until 10. Pretty much just maybe X number of years after a Dragon Quest game comes out. There needs to be just the Builders variant of it. Because I would love to play Dragon Quest Builders 11. Specifically based on Dragon Quest 11. I thought that world was really lovely and I barely interacted with it. And it'd be kind of fun to see what they do with that setup. Oh no, there was armor! Oh. You sure it's armor? I'm just gonna double check. It is armor, huh? It just doesn't say. Weird. Alright, whatever. Problem solved. Oh, you have to get it once before it'll show the preview. Got it. But yeah, new Dragon Quest Builders would absolutely make my day. It's kind of one of those where there are certain game series that if there was an infinite number of them, I would never complain. Final Fantasy games, Dragon Quest Builders games, EDF games. Like, you can just keep iterating on those ideas with only minimal improvements, and I think I would be forever happy with those. And there's not a lot of games where I can really say that with like full confidence. Because most games, you know, one is kind of enough. You know, playing Horizon Zero Dawn and then Forbidden West. I like Forbidden West enough, but I'm not like... absolutely cannot wait for the sequel, if that makes sense. You know, I'm looking forward to it just because, but it's not like, you know, I'm waiting on the edge of my seat for it. Souls-likes are another example. You know, as long as From Software makes Souls-likes, I will play them. I say having not played much Elden Ring at all. And that's something I need to rectify at some point when I'm not, you know, just mobbed in life and other things. Let's see. What are some other games that you really truly could just have like an infinite number of them and it would be okay? Oh, did the book just disappear? Or did I go too dang far? Yeah, no, the book just disappears. That's probably fine, frankly. Yeah, Bloodborne 2. Honestly, I want them to make an Armored Core Souls-like. I think that would be really fun. There's some other games that would have been kind of fun if they kept doing them. I'm a little disappointed that Metal Gear Solid as a series is kind of dead. Those games were always, like, kind of wonky. Death Stranding ain't bad, but it's a completely different vibe. Though, you know, honestly, if we get more Death Stranding, I'm not going to complain. I actually rather like that game. Let's see. There's a futuristic Souls-like called Dolmen. Heard of it? Yeah, I installed it, played it for about 5 minutes, and then uninstalled it. It reminded me of another sci-fi Souls-like from a while back that I thought was absolutely trash. What is this? Magic Banger permanently allows you to change the music in the stage selection. Huh. That's new. Boy, the frame rate's actually chugging. And we're only like 13 minutes in. That's a problem. Either that or something's slowing me down. I really cannot tell. Oh, it could actually just be the Mudman boss if he's here. I don't know. Turning the damage numbers off might help. Maybe. Maybe we don't need damage numbers. It's incomprehensible to me anyway. Well, this is nice and easy. It's usually why I go for Pichon, just so we can get the, just so we can stack just a little bit more. Because, yeah, 13 minutes in and I've already almost fully evolved my entire setup. I thought. Where's Candelabrador? Oh. Candelabrador doesn't fuse with the axe? Or no, we're just waiting for the evolution, I think. Let's see. Game that they could make an infinite number of would be Guitar Hero games. Kind of. I feel like Guitar Hero should be kind of like Mario Kart at this point. Where just, you make one per generation, and then you just inundate it with DLCs and updates. Same thing with, like Mario Party. I'm actually always kind of consistently surprised that, Nintendo just totally sucks at making the Mario Party franchise good. Like, they're okay, but it's one of those where all they need to do is just modernize pretty much all of the Mario Party minigames. Alright, so this is the Rune Tracer upgrade, and I do not know what it does, so let's find out. Explodes when bouncing and in retaliation. Yeah, that sounds fun. But so, you know, say Nintendo comes out with a new console, you know, here's the new Smash Bros, here's the new Mario Kart port, or, I mean, port-ish. Holy shit, what happened? We must have picked up a really concentrated red gem. You know, here's your Mario Kart port, here's your new Super Smash Brothers, or kind of expansion or something, because, you know, even after a certain point, you're going to hit a singularity on those things. You know, just buy it for your new console. And we'll, like, up the graphics and maybe add some new characters or some other things, or a mechanic or three, or who knows. And then just kind of rinse and repeat, and maybe every once in a while they do kind of like a more reboot, condensed version that's better. But otherwise, yeah, you just keep kind of iterating more or less on what works, and then just expand it further. So back to the Mario Party idea, you know, obviously there's too many mini games to just fit in stages, but, you know, if you could just say, like, hey, give me only mini games from, like, these Mario Parties, but also turn these off, that'd be great. Mario Party is the one that's just a pile of mini games, yeah? Well, it has, like, a board game mode on top of it. Alright, so we get the lightning ring, which I don't think I've seen either. Projectile, strike twice. Fair. Yeah, the refusal to put games on sale makes me a lot less likely to spend money on their games. Yeah, I think it's one of those where Nintendo games are just special enough that it's fine. And they can do whatever they want. But as a person that loves indie games, for example, I'll just play kind of whatever the indie alternative to most Nintendo products. There's a couple, like, Zelda games that I will go out of my way for. But now I'm trying to think. I don't know. I just think it would be more satisfying as a consumer to just kind of have that option. Is it an option? Have it where the game, where, you know, some of these more solved games that don't need to change much anymore because they're almost perfect. But I say that thinking that, you know, Dark Souls peaked at around Dark Souls 3 ? And here's Elden Ring. You know, except for maybe some balanced ideas, like, that game is just kind of better-ish. Zelda, Metroid, possibly Mario and Pikmin. I pay 60 for those. Yeah. Ooh. The special effect on the scythe is way better now. It used to look a lot worse. Looks way nicer now. You spawning more enemies? I cannot tell. Yes. It's like 60% more enemies than usual. However, it just does not matter. This build is... I don't want to say it's unbeatably broken, but it's pretty nuts. The main problem is, we've been going for 25 minutes and the clock says 17. Here's a question. Can I, like, up my bitrate for you guys live? I can, but I don't know if my internet can handle it. Let's give it a shot. Let's give you an extra 50% bitrate and see if that works. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, what are some other games that if they had an infinite number of them, I would buy? Because I don't really feel that way about Assassin's Creed necessarily, or most shooters, just because, I mean, it almost feels like shooters should actually just go the way of like, here is your ideal perfect version. Oh, I really should not alt-tab. Well, I guess we'll just kind of deal there. Because I might actually buy Battlefield games if they only made one every couple... Well, no. I guess it does take them a while to make them. I guess I would actually consider buying a Battlefield game again if EA felt like, you know, making it good and taking its time instead of rushing. Binding of Isaac. Binding of Isaac is an interesting one, because I almost feel like Binding of Isaac just needs an update to make sure it's compatible with every future platform, and then otherwise you could probably get away with never making another Binding of Isaac. The one thing that could work with Binding of Isaac is a condensed version of it that kind of cuts down on a lot of the bullshit. But even then you could do that with mods, maybe. Civ series. Yeah, Civ series, you could just have an infinite number of those and it'd probably be totally cool. Money! Binding of Isaac Skyrim Edition. I will say Binding of Isaac will age far better than Skyrim ever will. Skyrim, you load that game up nowadays and it kind of looks like Oblivion. It's weird, except for the people. I actually think Oblivion looks nicer. Because Skyrim is mostly just gray. Oblivion actually has like really lush environments. It looks super nice. I like Battlefield since it focused more on semi-realistic big team battles over arcade skirmishes. My big problem with Battlefield is that Battlefield 2142, was it? It was 2142. The sci-fi Battlefield was the best in my opinion, and absolutely just like was a one-off and is now dead. Not 2042, 2142, wasn't it? I'm not talking the more recent one. I'm talking the one with the giant airships that came out back like 16 years ago. That one was incredibly cool. Because admittedly I haven't played a Battlefield since, but in that one you had one team spawning out of this giant helicarrier in the sky trying to defend it while the other team is trying to blow it the hell up. Yeah, there's the one with mechs and airships. 2142 is kind of ahead of its time in some ways. It was incredibly far ahead of its time, and I'm still quite salty that game did not catch on further, because it was stupid fun. You know, getting to that final battle on the carrier, trying to take it out, and you just have practically every player jammed into these small corridors, just throwing themselves into the meat grinder. One team trying to keep the carrier from falling, and one team trying to blow it up at all costs. And it was wild. I loved it. And alas. And so yeah, if we could get a weird cross between Titanfall on 2142, I would be the happiest camper. Because my problem with Titanfall was it was mostly just about shooting other players. That I know there were other objectives, but I never really cared about them. But 2142 felt like you had objective points that you needed to hold, otherwise you were going to lose. PlanetSide fills the niche. I always wanted to get into PlanetSide, but it felt like you needed to do a lot of grinding and extra effort. You know, a nice part about 2142, I think there were unlocks, but I don't remember them being terribly important. At least it didn't feel that way. I don't know. Maybe at some point I'll try and host like a private server for 2142 and we just try and get as many people to play that as possible. Just so I can relive it. And who knows, maybe it's actual dog shit and I just am seeing it through the rose-tinted glasses of my younger years. It's very possible. Wander will try and revive older games. I think it would be fun occasionally. Wait, the private servers got shut down by EA? What? That's stupid. But I might be able to handle it privately. You know, for like a weekend. And maybe they wouldn't notice or care. I think they just... the long-lasting ones, but I could be wrong. Let's see, what's dog shit? I don't know. Maybe Battlefield 2142, but who knows. But yeah, I think the other thing is also just like, just staying away from EA in general. I've been nothing but kind of disappointed by almost everything that's come out of EA for, ever since Mass Effect 2? I'm actually trying to think of the last EA game that I really liked. Jedi Fallen Order. That's like the one exception. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. But yeah, who needs AAA games when you can play indies? There are a couple of genres that you really have to rely on the AAA market to come through on because it's just impossible with indie. So like MMOs, you just cannot win with indie MMOs. They're just, it's too big of a it's just too big of a task for like a proper small team to tackle. The smallest team MMO that I can even think of that works is like Warframe. And works well, actually. I should go back to it at some point. It's just one of those that, boy, I do not want to spend my free time grinding most of the time. Like, I'm doing it with Vampire Survivors right now because I find it compelling, but it's getting stale. But I'm also like 2/3 or 3/4 of the way done with the bosses in V Rising. What did I say Vampire Survival? V Rising, I don't know. Sorry. Yeah, I'm looking at Vampire Survivors, but I'm thinking of V Rising. They're both vampire games. Well, I say that with some trepidation because this most certainly does not look like a vampire. It looks like a weird, screwed up panda man. It's like if The Fly happened, but it was a panda, and then, Fat Bastard from Austin Powers. I think he's supposed to be a sloth. I don't know what he's supposed to be, but I don't really care. Let's see. Speaking of V Rising, boss you're stuck on is a stinky booty face. Hate healing bosses. I'll have some free time probably tomorrow. Maybe in the middle of the day. Or I might be able to play. And work on that. My problem is, it's gonna be freaking hot tomorrow. But I might still be willing to play video games during that. The big issue... Oh gosh, these guys are quick. The big issue is just I do not want to be doing commentary in a really warm environment. I want to be able to just like walk off and dunk myself in water. If and when I need to. Speaking of, I should probably close my window at some point. Because it's starting to warm up. I just know my computer is much, much warmer. Alright. This guy is just inching closer towards me, and it's kind of unsettling. I don't really have the oomph to cut through the sides as much. It's working, but apparently making all of my enemies stronger has had some negative effects. Or we just got the... We got the fire breath. Alright, we're good. Eat toasty. There he goes. I don't know if that's the last boss. It's either the last boss or the second to last one. Vampire Survivors is ridiculous value for your money. What does it cost? $1? I think it was $3. What was the game recently that I was playing? Yorg.io was 80 cents. Might still be 80 cents. Which is also like ridiculous value for the for your money. I know this year I definitely want to make a video just talking about budget bangers and how they're very quickly going to start taking over, especially with all the financial issues that are kind of happening in the world. There's going to be a very, very high demand for cheap but satisfying experiences. And luckily, like Steam sales and Humble Bundles and a bunch of other things also fill that. You know, if you're willing to be patient, every game is like $5. Unless it's a Nintendo game. Yeah, fun to money, nothing gets close. There's a couple of other games. I mentioned Warframe, like, grindy, yes, but is also free. Seraph's Last Stand is 99 cents. Very much a budget banger too. Yorg. There's a couple others that I'm skipping. Honestly, if you search budget banger on my YouTube channel, I'm pretty sure you'd find all of them. I should make a like a playlist specifically for them, or just a list in general. Of Nintendo games, but I really hate the company with the new CEO. I don't think it's the new CEO. So much of this has just been normal Nintendo. In fact, I'd actually say current modern Nintendo is probably a better incarnation of it. Or current Nintendo is the best incarnation of it since like the GameCube era. Ish. But they've always done some like really weird bonehead things. And then just kind of make it work because their games are just that good. Because like, what was it? What am I thinking of specifically? I mean, like, during the N64 era, they burned a lot of companies. Like, the fact that they actively drove Square Enix to the point where, more or less, they swore off Nintendo for... I'm not going to say forever, but you definitely can tell that Square Enix doesn't care about Nintendo in the way that they used to. Path of Exile, also free, has a ton of great content. It's true. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Reggie was great, but Bowser is bad. I don't know about Reggie. I know recently he was doing something about crypto that looked kind of creepy. It chased Rare into the arms of Microsoft. Yep. There was that... They chased Rare into the arms of Microsoft, or did Microsoft steal them? I actually didn't know about that one. Because I've never looked into it. I probably should at some point. Yeah, if you look at game series Nintendo had in the early 90s, that they lost to Sony, the list is ridiculous. It is baffling. It's also really baffling to find out just how much more prevalent the PS1 was, or like more successful it was, or how much more successful the PS1 was compared to the N64. That, whenever I look at the statistics between the two of those, it blows my mind, because nobody I knew growing up had a PlayStation. Everybody had a Nintendo except for the one kid across the street from me who had a PS1. And I only got into it later on when I realized that the PS2 and the PS1, where the PS1 had all of the good JRPGs on it, so I got a PS2 so I could do backwards compatibility. And Rare was dead before Microsoft got them. Ouch. But so, there was kind of a period of time, especially during the SNES era, where Nintendo seemed to kind of have a decent idea of what they were doing. And then I think they got like too big into it and then made the Virtual Boy and some other weird decisions. and burned a lot of goodwill. And then they did really stupidly well with the Wii, which I think kind of put them back on the weird trajectory where they thought they could do anything. And then they just kind of absolutely flopped their way through the Wii U era, which is wild because the Wii U actually has some of the best Nintendo games as far as I'm concerned. But it just kind of doesn't matter because they never got the support that they really needed to thrive. And then now we've got the Switch, and the Switch seems to actually be kind of the new golden age. I still don't know how successful it is comparatively, but it feels like a pretty solid, fairly solid platform, all things considered. The Wii U marketing was bad. Yup. You know, nowadays I think people would have an easier time of it. So if they came out with the Switch U or something, I think most people would be like, alright, we get it. We got 5 unlocks. The dairy plant. Let's see, 50 entries in collection. Banish. Oh, is that how I get rid of, is that how I just say, like, I don't want this? That might actually be it. No, I'm thinking about it. Okay, and it just cycles between them. So yeah, if there's an item you don't want, you might be able to just say no? Remove an item from level up choices for the rest of the run. Big! That's super big, and we'll get the next level of curse. Because that was fun. Alright, well, with all of that said, I am starving, and I've hit my time limit of temperatures starting to go up. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.